So hello everyone, I'm at the gas station at 6:30 in the morning because I'm going to Saint Pierre and Miquelon. Stand up and walk around a little. It's 1 o'clock in the morning right now and there is a hurricane wind. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since the last travel video. There's going to be a new one today. It's a trip that I made in September 2022 to a fairly unusual place on the globe. Unusual in the sense that not too many people get to go there. There's no particular reason to go there. It's a French island called Saint Pierre, which is just 20 kilometers off the coast of Newfoundland. For the people who reside in Newfoundland, it's quite easy to get to Saint Pierre. All you gotta do is just drive to the ferry, get on the boat, and you're there. For anybody else on the planet, it's a long way to get there.
Belle. Veuillez s'il vous plaît prêter attention aux consignes de sécurité qui vont suivre cette annonce. Nous avons le plaisir de vous informer que notre pont extérieur est dès à présent ouvert à votre disposition, de même que le sera notre cafétéria immédiatement après l'appareillage du navire. Merci pour votre attention et bon voyage.
So they told me to do something really strange, to go around to the fence and then get my bicycle here. Well, the bicycle is here, but nobody to give it to me though. Ah, yeah. Hi. Cool. It's okay, I'll get it.
Yeah.
I'll get it. And? Okay. All right, thanks.
Welcome.
Thanks, I'm gonna go ride.
Wait, stop.
No?
Just the dog. Just
You wanna inspect what I carry?
Yes.
It's just my clothes and a tent and a sleeping bag.
Just là. Oh. C'est bon pour vous. Just, tu
Ouais.
viens. Et.
Il ne
Là.
veut pas travailler.
Si, il va travailler parce que sinon il va
Il
prendre
veut-
une tarte dans la gueule.
Il veut
Just, viens là.
jouer.
Hop. J'ai dit. Merci. Là. C'est bon, vous pouvez y aller.
Ok, merci. Merci.
Allez, tu viens.
Saint Pierre and the nearby islands of Miquelon are French territories. So once there you will find people use euros. They drive European cars, mostly French. There's a lot of Citroën, Peugeot and so on. Cars that you won't find in Canada, they just don't sell in Canada. Tourists who go there, what I saw, they're mostly older people who seek a very sort of mature, calm tourism. So it's in a way it's an opposite to Thailand, where there's nightclubs and loud noises and all sorts of nighttime activities and so on and so on. And Saint Pierre is exactly the opposite. In fact, in the daytime, if you get hungry, it's quite possible that even on a weekday, during the day, you won't find a place with ready-made meals. Some places will open at a given time, say like starting from 5 p.m. and might even close at 7.
It's only 3-4.
I went to a pizza place that only opened, I think it was around 5 or so.
This pizza place will open at 6 o'clock. That's how it works. come back at 6 o'clock, there will be pizza. Which is very good. In the meantime, I'll try to find something else.
So there's not a lot going on, although in summer they try to entertain tourists as much as they can. In fact, I think the islands to some extent they leave off of tourism. So there's all sorts of holidays going on, like celebrations and parades and music performances. When I was there, when I arrived on Saturday and there was a music performance in the park, I heard it from my location where I set up my tent and tried to sleep. And I regret not going there because I thought that performance would happen like every night. But when I was there, it was in September. It was just once on Saturday. So there might be something going on next Saturday, but I wasn't there to see. So usually and throughout most of the time, that place is very, very quiet.
Et comment allez-vous?
Très bien, merci.
Moi aussi, je vais bien.
Parfait.
Mais j'ai faim, beaucoup de faim.
Qu'est-ce que vous cherchez pour manger?
Savez-vous si cet restaurant avec les poulets
Ouais.
va s'ouvrir
À 18h, je crois. Mais
18 heures?
18h, ouais.
Je vais crever.
Vous avez crevé de faim.
Le signe
Ouais.
dit qu'elle s'ouvre
Ouais.
à 17.
Ah, ben peut-être à 17 alors, ou quelque
Ah,
chose, 10 minutes.
J'espère.
Ouais. Sinon, vous cherchez quelque chose de froid ou quelque chose de chaud à manger?
Le poulet est délicieux.
Ok, le poulet est délicieux. Ben,
Et vous,
attendez 10
vous n'avez
minutes.
jamais essayé de manger ce poulet?
Oui, j'en ai déjà mangé, oui.
Ah, et c'est bon ou non?
Oui, c'est bon,
Ah,
effectivement.
Vous avez survécu.
Oui,
Ok.
oui, vous pouvez y aller sans crainte.
Et pourquoi elle ferme?
Parce qu'en fait, je pense que c'est un problème de personnel. Ils
Ah.
ouvrent le matin, ils
Et-
ferment vers 12h30, 13h et ils réouvrent pour
Ah.
la restauration du
Elle
soir.
n'aime pas travailler.
Je sais pas.
Mais vous travaillez
Mais
toujours.
oui, mais je suis pas dans le même domaine non plus. Moi, je ferme quand les restaurants ils ouvrent, par exemple.
Ah,
C'est ça.
c'est vrai?
Hmm?
C'est vrai? Ah.
Ouais, en général, les magasins, alors, de vêtements ou de jouets ou les bijouteries, enfin peu importe,
Ah.
les magasins ferment vers 18h ou 18h30
Ah.
et les restaurants ouvrent eux à 18h30.
Ah, je comprends.
En fait, non, c'est que avant,
Avant.
il y a quelques mois, vous pouviez commander votre poulet, puis ils vous disaient, par exemple, dans 10 minutes, tu viens le chercher, il est chaud. Mais maintenant, je ne sais pas comment il fonctionne.
C'est
Par contre,
complètement
il
fermé, à clé.
Oui, mais il va ouvrir. Salut Erika, ça va bien?
Salut.
Alors on attend. On
Allez.
attend à 5 heures.
Ouais, vous attendez 5 minutes, mais demandez-lui,
Ah,
peut-être qu'il peut vous le chauffer.
Pas 5 minutes, mais on attend demi-heure et 2 minutes.
Non,
Non,
à Saint-Pierre, il est 5 heures.
Ouais, il est 5
Il
heures.
va avoir
ici.
l'heure de Terre-Neuve, là.
Ah, il y a
30 minutes.
maintenant 5 heures.
Ouais, c'est ça.
Ah,
Donc,
c'est
ça-
génial.
C'est bien,
J'aime l'horaire
c'est ça.
de Saint-Pierre.
Après, si par contre, vous ne pouvez pas avoir du poulet, il y a un autre endroit où vous pouvez en avoir.
Moi, j'ai trouvé les pizzas,
Oui,
mais elles s'ouvrent à 6.
c'est tout tard le soir ici pour manger.
Vous voulez le caramba?
Non.
Vous
C'est...
C'est gratuit.
Oui, c'est
Non, mais merci, mais c'est mauvais pour l'appétit. Si je mange les bonbons,
Vous n'aurez
j'ai-
pas faim pour le poulet.
exactement.
C'est C'est clair. Je peux t'aider pour quelque chose,
Oui,
Erika?
je vais voir pour des
Ok,
caleçons. s'il te
merci.
plaît.
Oui, pour ton fils?
Oui.
Quelle taille désolé?
Alors, en
Mais-
pantalon, il y a du 10 ans.
Merci beaucoup. Au revoir.
Et bon appétit.
Merci.
It's also possible that there won't be any available hotel rooms if you get there. So there's a warning for people who travel is to make sure you have some sleeping arrangements beforehand, because the island, especially Saint Pierre, is quite small and the number of accommodations is limited. So if you get there and there's other tourists, it's possible there'll be no rooms on the whole island. And the accommodations that are available might be quite pricey. The cheapest places to stay seem to start from about 100 euros a night. And if you're staying at a decent hotel, it's gonna be 200 and up. One morning, I went to get breakfast at the hotel. Not that I knew that there would be breakfast, I was just kind of hungry. I was just walking around the town and saw a small advertisement. There was breakfast going on, and indeed there was. So I went in there. The price for breakfast was 8 euros. And guess what I got? One croissant. One croissant, some jam, and the choice of tea or coffee. And I think that was it. So I'm not saying anything bad about the place. It's actually so unique, so unusual, that going there and visiting Saint Pierre or Miquelon or both is such an experience that is much more rare than, say, going and visiting Thailand or Vietnam or whatever. Because what kind of traveler never went to Asia? All travelers did. But what are the chances of going to Saint Pierre? So yesterday a person told me that there was going to be a hurricane, and at that time I did not believe her. It turns out it's 1 o'clock in the morning right now, and there is a hurricane wind. It's really strong. It's blowing my tent away, and I didn't set up the tent properly. I didn't fix it to the ground, so it's very shaky. And what I'm thinking, I'm gonna try to go into the lobby of this building, because this will let me sleep through the night there. So it's about 8:30 in the morning. There's a really nasty cold wind. I'm leaving my bicycle, my sleeping bag, and my sleeping mat over here. So sleeping mat stays here in this little room, and the helmet is attached to the bicycle. And I'm out of water anyway, so I'm gonna go down to the town and see at least if I can get some water. So I just got out of the office of the ferry, and this boat is not going anywhere until Monday. They say it's too windy. The boat cannot sail. I thought the boats sail better when it's windy. The woman here at the ferry, she said they can stay no problemo. And I also think this is an awesome place to stay. There's nobody here until Monday. There is food. There is Wi-Fi. This is why I'm here. the Wi-Fi. And I can set up my tent somewhere between these rocks and just live here until Monday, and the public toilet is nearby. This is much better arrangement than my current housing. Oh, the toilet is right here actually. Not to mention that it's warm here. Well, I'm gonna sit in there. Another thing to mention while I'm still on the topic of boarding the ferry. So the place where you board is a town that's called Fortune, and it is fairly small. You cannot just leave your car anywhere you want because there is no free parking spots, so to speak, just because that place is so small. So one option, I guess, is just to pay for the paid parking, which is, from what I understand, it's quite expensive. I'm not sure exactly how much it is, but it's something like $10 or $20 a day. Another possibility, which I used, is to leave your car outside of town, somewhere on some road that's rarely used. And since I had a bicycle, I could get from my car to the ferry terminal reasonably quickly. But if you're walking, this option is not really great either. So think, if you ever travel this route, think, what are you gonna do with a car? There's also groups of tourists who just come on a bus as a part of bigger tour. I think the one that came with me on the boat was some sort of tour that was related to lighthouses. So some sort of lighthouses of Newfoundland tour, and they come on a bus, and this whole group unloads and goes to Saint Pierre, and then they explore the lighthouses of Saint Pierre as well, and then they come back. So my point is, it's not that simple, even if it seems very sort of suburban and remote areas. There are such questions as, well, what are you gonna do with the car, right? And how are you gonna bring your bicycle on board? With a bicycle, you're not really taking it yourself on the boat, but you have to like turn it into a person who will put it into some sort of luggage compartment, I don't know, and then they just give it to you once you cross the customs. In Saint Pierre, now my plan was to stay in a tent because there's quite a lot of open spaces. When I arrived there, I found an abandoned TV station on a hill, which of course had a fence around it, and in French it said something like, "Do not enter." Now, not all people speak French, so you can just pretend you don't know what it means. But it was a nice place which seemed to deter other people from going onto that ground, right? So just being there would mean that you would basically not be disturbed for the whole night. And I did set up my tent behind the building, which was more or less a good shelter from the wind. The only thing I did not expect, and honestly I never saw it coming, was a hurricane. It's a big hurricane, to which I think they even gave a name, which came, of course, along the east coast of the US and then towards Newfoundland, and it caused all sorts of trouble in Newfoundland. And in Saint Pierre, it caused a lot of wind. And my first night, I did go to sleep fairly well around 11 p.m. and woke up, oh my gosh, probably about 2-3 a.m. from a very strong wind. The tent was basically rattling, ready to fly away. And even that building that I was next to, it didn't shelter me. So thankfully, what I discovered though, that building, while it was completely closed, had an area, an entrance room right in front of the entrance door. So while I did not initially plan to sleep in the abandoned building, that was a much better option than the tent, because that was completely sealed from any elements from the rain, wind, and so on. The only problem there, it was kind of stinky from construction materials. It was the smell of kind of like plaster or like drywall compound or something. So something that's used in construction. And although it was fairly clean, but also I left the door open on purpose. So I thought if I seal this place shut, there will be no airflow. So I kept the door slightly open to help ventilate and avoid the smell. But overnight though, because it got kind of chilly outside, some little critters, those little bugs, crawled in. Now the bugs are completely harmless. They don't bite. They eat wood. I think they're called sow bugs or pill bugs. And there were like hundreds of them. Ew, that was nasty. But they had absolutely no interest in me or my things. Although when I threw them a piece of cookie, they ate it in a matter of hours. Like that cookie was gone. And later on though, I decided I would close the door, not to let the bugs in, and it actually helped. And I also found that I could open a window. I was surprised to see a very healthy and working society. On Friday when I got there, there were a lot of young people, like teenagers coming back from school. They were kind of smiling, laughing at me, maybe as they saw a tourist in me. I was obviously a tourist with my bicycle and the backpack and so on, so they were like looking at me as like, that must be a tourist. And there were also older people whom I saw more on the weekend, so I think more on Sunday as the weather got better. And at some point I saw they were playing buckyball, which is the first time I ever saw that game. Now I have no clue how to play it, but you can find YouTube videos explaining that. So it's like metal balls that have been thrown into the sand. The Wikipedia says it's developed into its present form in Italy. It's closely related to British bowls and French pétanque. Who knows, maybe what I saw was pétanque, because Saint-Pierre is France, so...
J'ai pas de nourriture. Vous voulez un truc à l'emporter?
Non, manger ici. Manger ici. Ok. Boisson. Pizzas. Vous l'avez, la pizza? Vous avez la pizza? Oui. Quel est le plus délicieux?
Comme vous préférez, il y a le base tomate qui est ici et après il y a la base crème qui est en bas.
Vous ne savez pas, vous ne les mangez pas. Et quelle pizza que personne n'aime pas manger? Lequel?
Les personnes, le moins vendu, c'est la napolitaine.
C'est ça que moi je vais manger. Avec canette. Canette?
Oui. Vous voulez en emporter ou sur place?
Sur place.
Donc, vous voulez une napolitaine?
Oui. So this turned out to be really good. There is pizza, it smells good. There is some French Coca-Cola. And the visitors told me about some coffee shop that's nearby. So better pizza. I think this is the place is called Pizza Chez Alain. Chez Alain. The pizza is really good. There's no space to eat it over there, so I brought it to my hotel room, and it makes it super cozy because I also have a can of Coca-Cola. And I tried a piece of it. It's really good. I'm gonna eat it while it's still warm. This makes this place very much like home.
So I hope you like the story about Saint Pierre through the eyes of Igor. Now keep in mind my travel tastes and my eyes are not very mature. I would honestly prefer to go and explore Bangkok and Pattaya and the rest of Thailand, and maybe even Indonesia and Vietnam and so on. Saint Pierre is way too quiet. For me, it was an opportunity to travel to a very unique location at a very low cost. It's definitely an experience. It's a unique experience and an opportunity to go to some very, very far corner of the world.
So because of all this shaking, my stomach feels really bad now. Decided to stand up and walk around a little. People are asking for those little bags for puking. If I knew that was gonna happen, I would wait until tomorrow. Can't wait for it to be over. This is crazy. It helps a little bit for me to just stand here like this. If I sit, it's really making me sick.
No?
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Good? Tout à l'heure?
Oh, that's much better outside.